We're going to play through the Byron Nelson right now because we need to talk some PGA Championship bets because the second major of the year is next week. And we talked about it on the slate last night, guys. Brooks Koepka withdrew yesterday. He's plus 1,600 for next week. Does this WD, Reid, are you more likely or less likely here to bet this guy? A little nervous after this?
No, not really. If you take a look at it's like the last, 10, 20 majors, you have pretty much a split down the middle of guys who haven't played the week before and guys who have played the week before. And, it's just a matter of how these guys prepare. We know that Brooks Koepka, for winning 4 majors, he knows how to prepare. So I'm not too worried. At this number, though, at plus 1,600, there's some guys right now, even before the at&t Byron Nelson finishes, that are at some pretty nice numbers. So I'll probably stay off for now because you might see a drift a little bit when the week comes to the PGA next week.
All right, Geoff, across 13 official PGA Tour events this season, he has just 2 top 10 finishes and nearly as many missed cuts as made cuts.
Yeah, so my problem with Brooks Koepka isn't that he didn't play this week. I mean, I would have liked to see him play just because he's been really inconsistent. But the problem with Brooks Koepka is his number. Brooks Koepka was going off at plus 3,500 in the at&t Byron Nelson. Now we're being asked to bet him at plus 1,600. I just can't get there. Patrick Cantlay, who just won the team event, and Jordan Spieth, who just won a singles event at the RBC Hilton Head, are both plus 2,000. It's really hard for me, even with Brooks's PGA Championship history, his major championship history, to get behind Brooks at this number. I think you'll see the odds shift. I think you'll see his odds inflate quite a bit as the PGA Championship week gets on. But right now, he's not a player you should be looking to in the futures. Let's see if his number approaches plus 3,000 again. Then we'll come back and talk about this player.
Okay, yeah, let's look a little bit more into the future here, Geoff. Is there a golfer that you believe you should jump on now, like their PGA Championship odds right now, lock in that value in case they play this week at the Byron Nelson? We know there's some big names in the field this week who will be playing next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, you can definitely look to a guy like Hideki Matsuyama, who started out well. He's at plus 3,500. If you're looking at the top players and maybe the top 20 kind of, his odds to me stand out the most. I mean, he's got shorter odds than Bryce. He's got shorter odds than Xander Schauffele. Like Hideki, I'm sorry, he's just a better player than Xander right now. I think he's a better major target. Obviously won the Masters, but he's been really competitive in a lot of the majors too. We know that iron game once it gets rolling. So Hideki is a player that if you're watching the leaderboard at the Byron Nelson right now, if he keeps this up for a couple more rounds, this number isn't going to be here come next Monday. So plus 3,500 for Hideki really sticks out. But I'll be dead honest. I think the player you should be jumping on right now is Patrick Cantlay. I mentioned it already. Plus 2,000 when you compare it to the guys in front of him, it does not make sense. Cantlay's been all over leaderboards. He's already got the win with the team event. He lost in a playoff. Just does not make sense that he's got longer odds than Brooks Koepka.
All right, what do you think, Reid? Could a good tournament this week from guys like Xander or Spieth kind of move them up the betting boards next week?
It could. And in those 10, right, in the 10 that have played before the majors, there's a pretty disparate of where they finish, but a handful of them have finished in the top 5 in the week previous. So, yeah, I mean, if DJ, one of these guys wins, absolutely. Or we talked about JT as well yesterday, that's someone that you might want to, hop onto. But, I'm with Geoff with Patrick Cantlay. He's one of my favorites, if not my favorite right now to get at plus 2,000. I don't think it goes down, right, because he's still at that position. So if anything, it might increase. I doubt it, but that's one guy that you should absolutely circle. Everything is pointing for Patrick Cantlay to win this golf tournament next week. If all things considered, right, the trends play out. The 2 guys that I think that you should be focused on is Jordan Spieth. We talked about him quite a bit, that Geoff does not like him, but if he putts well today or this week, then that's something that you'll see a number decrease if you like Jordan Spieth. Again, trends point to him finishing the career Grand Slam at plus 2,000. But if it's not him, it's the other guys, right? Will Zalatoris, his number is going to go down if he plays well this week, right? Like that, Sam Burns is another player who's trending extremely well. His number will go down. I don't think you need to make a ton of bets right now because we've always seen the drift post Sunday. But those are a few players that you should be looking at.
Yeah, Spieth tees off 2 o'clock this afternoon. Xander's 1 over through 9. Sebastian Munoz on top, 7 under through 11.
Sebastian Munoz is like, when you're in Mario, like playing Super Mario, and you get the star, and then you get like a suit, and it's just like you're on the cheat code. That's what Sebastian. He's got 2 eagles and like 4 holes.
Crazy.
Hey, look at DJ, man, 5 under through 9. All right, last question here. So like we've talked about all week, no matter what show we're doing together, guys, really strong field at the Byron Nelson. Yo, is the winner this weekend close to an automatic fade for next week, considering we haven't seen someone win back-to-back tournaments since like the beginning of 2021? And even when like Harris English did that, like one of them was a team event, Reid.
Yeah, I don't think you need to.
Okay.
Like, is it hard to win back-to-back? Of course, right? Like, of course it is. But again, this is the PGA Championship, especially too, is one that's given way to first-time major winners, too, right? So like, it's sort of a mixed bag. So I wouldn't automatically fade him, especially if like JT or Dustin Johnson wins. Like, you're not gonna be like, oh no, I'm not gonna pick one of the best golfers in the world who's just coming off a win. So no, I won't automatically fade the winner.
All right, Geoff, what's your approach here?
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler has taught us the danger in fading a guy who we just think can't win, like, 3 times in 5 starts or 3 times in 4 starts. So especially if it's an elite guy, obviously, if it's like a DJ or a Justin Thomas. And the only problem with those guys winning is that their odds are going to get shorter. But because it's an elite field, like if you can get them at plus 1,000 or better, it still might be a great bet. So no, it really doesn't factor in. Again, it just becomes a value proposition. Are you going to start your betting card with the guy who's closer to plus 1,000 or plus 1,200 now and just fade the rest of the field and just go all in on that guy and think he's too hot to fade? Or are you just going to say, well, now his odds are too short, I got to go somewhere else?